gorgeous. Today's flow is a very sweet and short sequence to get our core warm and ready to take on crow. So I'm gonna show you the different step and variation that you can take to lift up into crow, but we're gonna get warm first. So let's hop on the mat. So let's start on our back. Come lay onto the mat, palms facing down, and bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. You can keep a slight bend into your knees. Inhale here. Reach the arms up. Exhale. As you're crunching and bringing the forehead and the arms towards the front of the room, you're lowering the right leg down. Inhale to extend and lift the right leg up. Exhale, change. Inhale up. Exhale. Engage your core, press the lower back into the ground. And keep moving. Keep breathing. Keep the core engaged. Activating all the muscle we'll need, and we're gonna engage into crow and 2 more per side. And reach and release. Beautiful. Bring the knees into your chest and actually the knees into your upper arm, and press the palms up towards the ceiling. So we're already in our crow. We're already in our reverse crow on our back. So you should feel already the engagement in your core, even if you're laying onto your back. Bring the knees in and try to bring them above your elbow and press them into your upper arm. Sorry, it's very hard to talk. And then release. Stretch your legs long, your arms above your head. And then bring the knees back into your chest. Grab hold of the back of the thighs and rock back and forth a few times. Massaging the whole spine until you get enough momentum to come forward, cross the legs and step back. Chaturanga. Inhale. Finding your upward facing dog. Exhale to push back. Downward facing dog. Hello. Right leg reaches back up high. Inhale here. Exhale to bring the knee in towards the nose. Stack the shoulders over the wrist. Inhale. Push it all the way back up high. Exhale. Right knee towards right elbow. Keep your hips lifted. Press the ground away. Inhale all the way back up high. Exhale. Right knee towards left upper arm. And all the way back. And one last time. Inhale. Exhale towards the nose and all the way back. Open the hip, keep the shoulders squared. Let that right foot hang towards the left. And one more round. Inhale, extend that right leg long. Exhale, right knee towards the right elbow. Lower down towards the wrist. Back in towards the elbow and across. Down towards the wrist, up to the elbow, in towards the nose, push it all the way back up high. Exhale to release it back down. Big breath here. And big breath out. Moving on to the opposite side, left leg reaches back up high. Exhale, knee towards the nose. Press the shoulder blades away. Inhale to lift the leg back up. Exhale, knee towards the left upper arm, hips lifted. Inhale back. Exhale, find a twist. Inhale back. Exhale, knee towards the nose one last time. And push it all the way back up high. Bend the knee, open the hip, keeping the shoulders level. Open those hips. Feel the stretch. And then one last round. Inhale, straighten that left leg long. Exhale to bring the knee towards the left elbow, down towards your wrist. Across towards the right wrist, up towards the right elbow, in towards the nose, and all the way back. And exhale to release. Beautiful. Release the knees down. Come to sit on your heels and give a shake to your wrists. Well done. We're gonna give some love to our wrist before start to get into our arm balance. So we're gonna come into our tabletop position and we're gonna bring the fingertips facing towards our knees. Inhale here and exhale to start reaching the sitting bones towards the heels. Maybe you're here and you're already feeling the stretch, that's fine. If you can go a little bit more back, maybe even lifting slightly the palm. And then come all the way back forward. Bring the fingertips onto the sides, facing the sides of the mat. And start circling on one way. And then switching direction. And one last one, bringing the top of the hands down onto the mat. And we're doing the same thing here. We're just reaching those sitting bones back and forward, back and forward. And one last time. And coming forward, bringing the palms onto the mat. And it's time to take flight. So, let's start with the first real step. Bringing the block in the highest setting in front of you and one in the lowest behind you. So what we're gonna need them for, we're gonna need the block behind us to give us a little bit more height to lift from. So we're gonna stand our feet on top of it. The block in front of us is, if you're scared of falling, it can be also a pillow in front of you. Otherwise that you're gonna take the measurement. So when you're reaching forward, your forehead touches it. So you can't go anywhere, like you're here. So regulate it in a way that is gonna be onto your forehead. And then from here, we're gonna bring the wrist underneath the shoulder blades. The shoulder blades, the shoulders. So in line with our shoulders, spreading the fingertips wide. And we're gonna take the first variation where we bend the elbows and we reach them slightly onto the side. So we create a shelf for our legs to come on top of, above the elbow. So this is why the block underneath our feet is useful, because it's gonna give us a little bit of lift to bring them above, to bring the knees above the elbow. And then from here, we're gonna reach forward. Very important thing is to reach forward, not down. So reach forward, maybe you find the block, and then you're lifting one foot up, release it back down, and then the other, release it back down. Maybe you're lifting both up. Breathe in wherever you are, and then release back down. So this is your first variation. You can keep taking this, and if you're not lifting up yet, that's totally fine. You're where you need to be. Don't you worry, you're gonna get there. Just plain lifting one foot in, then replace it down, and then the other. Try not to kick into it. You're not going anywhere like that. So this is your first step, your first variation, and you're absolutely free to stay here and keep practicing like this. Make sure that you're leaning forward, not down. So in this case, we have the block, so we are kind of reaching down, but eventually keep in mind you want to reach forward. Otherwise, down is where you go. So that's a very important thing. Second important thing, keep breathing. Keep breathing through the pose, and even when you're lifting, your inhale, exhale to lift the toes up. It's gonna be easier, and your body is getting lighter to be able to lift. So keep in mind these important things, And then let's move to the second step. So let's remove the blocks. With the blocks you can also remove one and keep the other, and vice versa. Without the blocks, still wrist underneath the shoulders, fingertips very spread onto the mat. We're gonna take the same variation to begin with, so bend the elbows and bring the knees above the elbows. So again, remember, reach forward instead of down. You're gonna notice the change of direction. So lean forward, inhale. Exhale to lift one foot up. Engage the core and almost arch the spine up towards the ceiling so you can bring the shoulder blades away from each other. And same thing here. So lifting one foot up, release it back down, and then the other. And keep doing this movement until you build enough strength to maybe lift both. And breathe here. And then release them both onto the ground. Give a shake to your wrists. You can also press pause to this video and practice on your own in your own time. Last variation, which you can also still practice it with the block, is a little bit more advanced because your hamstring need to be a little bit more open. But the position of your hands is still the same. But this time, instead of bending the elbows and keeping the arms wide, we're actually keeping the elbows in line with our shoulders, in line with the wrist and hands. And we're bringing the knees as high as possible towards our armpits. And here the same, leaning forward, not down, breathing. Exhale, lift one foot up towards your buttocks, release it back down. Same thing for the opposite one. And release it back down. And then from here, inhale, and maybe exhale to lift them both, reach them up. Keep breathing, keep your core engaged. 5 long breaths here. And then when you're done, release the feet down and come back. Give a shake to your wrists. Whatever you achieved today, well done. You're one step closer, you're building your strength, you're building your body to be able to take flight. So be proud of yourself. And this was a quick tutorial, but hopefully it'll give you important tools to bring with you in your practice and find growth. So thank you very much for joining me, and hope to see you soon.